following video clips were created by the Tertiary Education Commission from selected 2010 Pūtea Arapiki Ako projects for teachers and kaiako who work with tertiary students in tauira and want to learn more about the perspectives, views and understanding they bring with them. These resources complement the learning progressions for adult literacy and numeracy by suggesting links to mātauranga Māori and Pacifica worldviews. The approach taken to teaching and learning adult literacy and numeracy uses a three-point model: knowing the demand, knowing the learner, and knowing what to do. Tuhono Korero, connecting conversations. UCOL initiated this project because it attracts many Māori students, but its teaching staff are mostly Pākehā. The aim was to help UCOL lecturers become more familiar with the needs of Māori students and Māori pedagogies in an informal workshop setting. As part of the project, high-profile educators such as Russell Bishop and Mason Jury spoke to the staff and raised awareness about the importance of using Māori pedagogies. The workshops have had a profound effect on staff and made them aware that concepts such as manaakitanga and connection to whānau are vital for Māori academic success. Feedback from staff has been very positive. So kia ora te atawhai, can you tell us in a brief description about the project?
Our project was called Tuhono Korero. Our interpretation of that as we had it was connecting conversations, and specifically it was an attempt to improve the conversations and the kōrero going on between specifically the kaiako of our institution and the tauira of our institution. And so our program was really aimed at various kaiako of various programs, particularly level 1 to 3 programs. And what we wanted them to do was to go through a program where we invited some prominent Māori educationalists and prominent Māori people in Māori development generally onto our campus, and we provided various workshops and after 5 type meetings in the case of the high profile ones. And we invited all our staff. It was specifically aimed at academic staff, but we got a lot of non-academic staff as well. And really, in a nutshell, the purpose of that was to give them better knowledge, greater awareness of historical things, give them better knowledge of the Māori modern condition, if you like, and most rohe and most areas around the country where our students may have come from, and some of the challenges that these students might have faced when they came into learning, particularly in a big, perceived to be Pākehā or mainstream organisation like ours.
How much of a need was there for this project?
The issues for Māori are generally the same. UCOL was no exception. UCOL externally had a lot of support from iwi Māori in terms of student numbers. For a mainstream kura, UCOL had a high number of Māori students coming onto its programs. To give you an idea of that, in second semester enrolments could be up to 25% of all enrolments across UCOL. The vast majority of academic staff were non-Māori, and so we were trying to build their kete of skills, if you like, to be able to understand these students. And you know, in the words of Russell Bishop, try to reduce that power imbalance, that invisible power imbalance that went on between a non-Māori kaiako and the tauira Māori. That's what we were trying to do.
Now, how did you go about rolling this project out?
What we tried to do first is that we got a small team of us together, and we did a lot of kōrero, whakawhiti kōrero, swapping our ideas and thinking, okay, what are those things that might be stopping our students from progressing, from graduating, etc. The normal things come up. It might be the way they're taught, it might be no understanding of our cultural background, it might be the learning styles and those sort of things, or it might be something simple like that respect that goes on between a teacher and a learner. And so we talk about all those sort of things, and then we try and come up with a couple of options in terms of how can we address that. Now, the best thing to do is obviously hear from experts. Being in an academic institution, our staff, particularly our academic staff, they would respond better, we knew, if we got experts, Māori who are perceived as experts in the field of education and others. And so on our list we thought, well, we might be able to invite a few people here. People like Peter Sharples, people like Mason Jury, People like, who did I mention before? Russell Bishop and Dr. Charles Royal, that caliber of people whom we knew would be able to deliver their mātauranga, their knowledge, in vastly different ways. But a key thing to that was that we didn't want things to be just like one-off events. So we invite Mason Jerry in. He comes in for an hour and a half, has a kōrero, a presentation, and then that's it. That's not what we wanted. What we did was we made sure after the major presentations that we broke things down. It's like we took ourselves back to being like students again. If we didn't understand anything in the lecture, we tried to go to the tutorial and try and get a better understanding of that. So we did that with our speakers. When Mason or Charles Orr came in, we created informal discussions for those staff members that were there, just to cement some of the ideas and the practical tools that were talked about in their sort of presentation. Key to the approach that we took was, I think to use a term, we had a viral approach. We tried to bombard everybody across the organisation, not just one campus. And so there was a great use of technology, telling everybody what was happening in terms of the schedule of speakers, etc. We did simple things every day, like when you log on, there were simple messages in te reo Māori, could have been a whakatauraki. We always had our graphic. Everybody came to know our Tuhono Korero graphic. And so we achieved the viral approach, and people knew that there was this program going on.
So what benefits were the learners gaining from this new approach?
We believe that we've put a better quality kaiako in front of a lot of our learners, particularly at level 1 and level 3, a better quality kaiako. And the things that we gave them, they weren't earth-shattering, revolutionary things that we gave them. They are very, very simple things that came under that concept of manaakitanga. And so our tutors would tell us that they are doing that. They're talking a little bit better with Māori students. They're talking a little bit better with Pacifica students. One of the good things that comes out of a program like this that we've started to notice is that when things pick up with Māori and Pacifica students in a class, things tend to pick up generally for all students. And so that was a positive, a positive spin-off. And that's fine. That's in keeping with our kaupapa as well, even though it was a focus on our Māori students. So that's what we believe we've done. We believe that we are putting and still putting in front of a lot of our classes, particularly level 1 to 3 classes, a kaiako that's a bit more prepared and knows how to be a better teacher, impart that knowledge better, relate better with the students, and kōrero better with the students. We believe that's a major step in trying to foster their learning.
How would you measure the success of this project?
I remember one of the deans of one of the big faculties saying to us after one workshop, I'm going to try these 2 things with my staff and ask them to try and embed it into their classroom teaching. Now, that's what we wanted to hear. That's the stuff that we wanted to hear. I didn't expect them to be experts in te reo or experts in tikanga so much, or have a massive view of things of te ao Māori. If they can pick practical tidbits, pull those things out and embed them into their departments with their staff, in their staff meetings and as part of their training, then that's an extremely positive thing for us.
So what advice would you give to others out there who would like to follow this amazing example?
Focus on the basics. Focus on the basics, and that's internal relationships. Make sure the program is attractive and it's a high quality program. Make sure you have a good kaiwhakahaere or a good group of people that are running it, and make sure that it's pretty much a hotshot program. It's going to put some runs on the board quite quickly and be attractive to others, because that's how it's going to go. It's going to start slow, but once it picks up its momentum through a good quality program that's managed well and got those things that will attract those staff, it will start to take off.
So Te Autawhai, can you share any highlights the project has had for you?
Having a program like this, finally having the resource to be able to do something like this, which we've wanted to do for about 3 years, and that is having an internal focus on our teaching staff particularly, but all our staff. We've never had the resource to be able to do it. Never had the resource to to set up something like this and actually get it going, implement it on the ground.
So how was the project linked to the learning progressions?
The program had a good fit in with the things that were happening already at UCOL, i.e. the literacy and numeracy team and their activities, and the things that were being planned.
So how would you summarise the overall difference that this project has had on your learners?
For us, again, with an initial emphasis on our kaiako, the overall difference would be that they were quite prepared to look at doing things in different ways. Their teaching, their relationships with students, how they engage with students, and particularly the big one which UCOL has got into in the last 12 months is how we welcome our students to our institution and our program. Yeah, we think that's one of our biggest things that we've contributed to from a staff point of view.